Well, in the final installment of the state capture report, that report revealing that corruption and maladministration at the passenger rail agency that has left millions of passengers destitute and infrastructure destroyed. Our business reporter, Kopano Gumbi, looking at that element of the report, focusing the attention on PRSASA. Kopano, you are in Mayfair and activity abound behind you there with people fixing the rail network of this country. And that's, by the way, the backbone of the economy. And I don't need to tell you this because covering business news is exactly what you do. But talk to us about those two contracts that the State Capture Commission focused its attention on when it came to PRSASA. What did they say exactly?
Yeah, Xoli, at the heart of the evidence that was presented during the state capture hearings relating to PRSASA was those two contracts you mentioned. One with Swifambo Rail, which was a 3.5 billion rand contract, and the other with Siangena Technologies, which was a 4 billion to 4.5 billion rand contract, both of which, towards the end of the State Capture Commission, were found to be irregularly awarded contracts. And the High Court in Johannesburg actually appealing those contracts, saying that PRSASA could now go and take some of the money that they had paid out to those two contractors, get some of that money back. Now, Swifambo Rail were hired to provide PRSASA with 70 locomotives. By the end of 2017, they were first awarded that contract in 2012, but by the end of 2017, they had only provided 20 of the 70 locomotives, and they were not fit for purpose. In addition to that, they had already been paid 2.6 billion rand from the contract, so 3/4 of the value for just 20 trains that were not fit for purpose. And that is some of the evidence that came out of this report, and what PRSASA then went and took those contracts on review and was able to get some of that money back and get some retribution. Similarly, with Siangena, there were a lot of politically associated people involved in that contract, and they too have a role to play in how we see PRSASA having been dilapidated in these last few years. I'm joined now, though, by PRSASA's national spokesperson, Andisa Makana, to talk to us a little bit about where PRSASA is in terms of their actions given the state capture report that just was released. I know it's been 5 days, Andisa, since the report came out, and perhaps PRSASA has not had as much time as it would like to study these findings. But what is the current position on what has come out of the report?
Good morning, Kopano. Currently, we've noted the state capture report findings, and we are studying the findings. We've noted also the recommendations from the Chief Justice Zondo on the findings with PRSASA, and we are looking into the matter. We're studying the judgment, and in due course we will have a comprehensive response that we can issue to the public.
One of the things that the minister then recently has tried to tell people is that they're going to work very hard on trying to refurbish some of these corridors that have been destroyed in the process of these years, not just because of state capture, but because of negligence and low maintenance. We're at one of these sites right now. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening on this corridor?
Definitely. As you can see, Kopano, we are right now at the Naledi line, where we had closed the line in May for major repair work. A lot of our infrastructure was vandalized, and some of our electrical cables have been stolen. But what we have done is we've got contractors in site who have already started replacing the stolen copper cables. The line that we're currently fixing is the one that will link from Johannesburg to Soweto, Naledi in particular. I know that this morning you are at Kliptown showing all those visuals. There is a plan currently to fix the Kliptown line. We're starting with the scoping of the work that needs to be done on that Kliptown line. We're getting consultants also to look at what can be done to fix the Kliptown station in itself. So there is a lot of work that's happening currently in Gauteng. We've also closed other lines in Gauteng, like the Pretoria to Pienaarsport line. We've closed that line. We've closed Lerala to Pretoria, Lerala to Johannesburg for major repair work so that we can start trains moving on these corridors.
I have to ask about the cost of repairing these lines. I know that this is a 94-kilometer stretch from Bram all the way into Soweto that's being worked on right now. What is it going to cost the taxpayer, and can PRASA afford to do these upgrades given its financial position?
Definitely, Kopano, there is a budget allocated for the repair work. We're looking at, in Gauteng, if I stand to be corrected, around 2.8 billion to fix some of the infrastructure that was vandalized and devastated by criminals.
Okay, Andiswa Maganda, thank you so much for your time there. Fully, the national spokesperson of PRASA, just giving us a sense of how much it's going to cost. 2.8 billion just to fix Gauteng infrastructure is quite a significant number, but pales in comparison to the 3.5 billion that was stolen and the 4.5 billion from those two contracts that came out in the state capture report.
Kopano Gumbi, thank you very much for that update. Live for us in the area of Mayfair, and that's where the repair work is being done to fix the network.